Hi everyone.
Welcome
I'm
back.
back.
My name is Katie Kazik for anyone who hasn't been here before, and this is Rebecca. And I just wanted to give you some of my thoughts because I went on my run this morning and I was just listening to music. I wasn't talking to anybody or listening to someone else talk. And so I was able to kind of like be in my thoughts. And one of my favorite things about that is that whenever I'm able to be in my thoughts, I'm able to think a little bit more about just how running really applies to my life. And so part of the reason why I try to avoid running in my neighborhoods because there's tons of hills in my neighborhood. And I don't particularly care to run hills in my neighborhood, but they're very good for you because it helps you with your speed, it helps you with like your stamina, and helps you with a lot of other things. But I try to avoid it if I can. I usually try to run someplace where it's not so many hills, but still some hills where I still get a little bit of a challenge. Anyways, so I've been running my own neighborhood lately, and like the last couple weekends. And one of the things in my neighborhood that I realized was that today was our first cold snap for like this season, and hopefully it stays cold because here in the South it usually goes cold then hot then cold then hot. And last time it went cold, it wasn't really cold. It was just kind of like meh, like
Kind of
you
cold.
could live with it. You don't really need to wear pants or like jeans, but you could wear like shorts and stuff. This one, I was like, my lungs were burning because whenever you're running in the cold, you know how that cold air kind of burns, and there was a lot more wind, so like the breeze was cooler, like a lot cooler, and I, like I said, had to be running hills. And so it got me thinking about how life in general, especially when things get hard, like all of 2020. No, I'm just kidding. But like when you're thrown um, that random thing that you didn't think you'd ever have to deal with, and you don't really know what else to do, that is like running up a hill with wind blowing in your face in the cold.
It's
because
like
you're
and also it blows your hair if you have long
it does if your hair's not up, huh?
hair. Mm-hmm.
But if you are running uphill with the wind blowing up against you, not only do you have to overcome running up a hill, but now you have to overcome the wind blowing against you. So you have one force pushing you one way and another force pushing you another way. And so, because you're gonna obviously, generate your speed going up the hill, and the wind is gonna pull you backwards.
It's like this.
And it is. And so it makes it a lot more harder. And then the cold on your lungs, especially if you're not used to running in the cold, it's going to burn. And so you have those three things that are kind of fighting against you. It's super uncomfortable, and it's completely unavoidable. Like you have to do it. But you know that once you get to the top of that hill, you get a break. And so what I was thinking was how amazing it is that in life the same thing happens. When those hard things come, like when my husband was injured overseas, or when we found out that Rebecca had a heart defect, or when we found out that my husband was being medically retired, or when we almost weren't able to get the house that we're living in, or
and Dad almost died. Like
that was whenever he got injured overseas.
oh
Yeah. All of these things that happen were like running uphill with the wind blowing against your face in the cold, because it's completely uncomfortable, it's completely unplanned, and it's completely unnecessary in every aspect of our perspective while we're in it, right? We're like, why do we have to do this? This is not something that we should have to do, right? And so, but when we work through it, and when instead of focusing on the problem at hand, we focus on the fact, like what we're learning from the problem, and when we focus on how we can be better because of the problem, that helps that problem to just go away. Not go away completely, but like go away enough where you're able to get to that peak of the hill. And then when you get to the peak, obviously, you get a break. You get to go downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And it might not be a long downhill, like it might not be a big hill down, but
and it might be a short hill.
It might be a short hill, but it's a hill down, and like a downhill slope. There you go. It's a downhill slope.
It's like whenever you drive up a hill, you go down, even if it's a small hill, you go.
Yep. And so we get that break. We're able to have that little break and that little pause where we're able to reset and we're able to focus on what we learned and how we've changed through that challenge. And, you know, it's something that we know that we need, but at the same time, we don't always like it. Like, I don't like running hills, but I know I need to run hills.
Even though she has a baby in her belly.
Even though I have a baby. It's good for the baby, too.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
And it helps the baby fall asleep.
It does. And it helps the baby to be healthier, too.
Exercise is healthy.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Just like running's healthy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. But just because we have that hard moment doesn't mean that we have to give up or that we should give up. It means, to me, it means more than anything that I need to push through and that I need to overcome and that I need to be able, or I need to make it better. I need to make myself better. I need to, you know, make it that little bit further. In fact, I noticed today, whenever I was running with the wind, especially when the wind was blowing in my face, I would lean in and I would just put my head down and I'd pump my legs faster. And I wonder, but I just couldn't help but think when I did that this is exactly like whenever we have those super hard moments and we, you know, instead of focusing on all that's happening and all the bad things, we put our head down and we focus on what we can learn and we overcome the problem faster. We overcome the hill faster.
It's like whenever you're looking down, then you run faster, then you see your legs going faster.
Yeah, that's it. You know, when we use all of what we have to put ourselves further than what we were, it can help us to learn so much more and help us to overcome all those things that we never thought we could. Like, when I first started running, I never thought I could run all those hills. I didn't. In fact, I avoided those hills. I avoided that part of my run, like, with every fiber of my being because of the fact that I just didn't want to do it. I couldn't do it. My body was just like, and here's another hill, I'm done. And especially because where I live, I'm right in the middle of two hills. So, like, I'm on the bottom, and I'm, like, right here. And if I go this way, if I go to my left, I go up a hill. And if I go to my right, I go up an even steeper hill. Yeah, and I choose to go up that super steep hill first because it sets my body in the right mode and in the right mindset. It puts me in the right mindset to keep going. I've made it past the hardest hill. I could make it past all the little hills. And I think that's something that's super important too, is to focus on the fact that we've made it past so much, we can make it past even more. We can do more than what we think we can. And so that's my little tidbit. That's my little patch of knowledge for the day. That's my little running thoughts that I had that I just wanted to share. If you can think of anything, or if you have any thoughts that you've thought about, or like if you have, like if this thought made you think of something, I don't know how to word that, then drop your reflections in the comments below, and subscribe, and share. And yeah.
Bye.
Have a good week. We'll see you later.